Good evening, parents and families, teachers, besties, teacher friends. Happy Saturday. It is your educator's favorite educator, your SG Row educator, Miss Tiffany McDonald, the education specialist, back again, y'all, with another week in our back to school series. Well, it should be surviving back to school series. Tonight's topic is building student and teacher relationships. Come on in the room. I know we're starting a little bit early, which is okay. Make sure that you have registered. The link will be in the description box below or on the side over here, depending on where you're looking. Make sure you register because all registrants will get the freebie of iRead, iLearn back to school icebreakers that you can do with your class on that first day of school, on that first week of school to help you build those student teacher relationships. Come on in the room, come on in. If you are watching live, make sure you put hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. We love all of our viewers live and replay. And no matter what time you're watching, this content can definitely help you become that thriving educator, achieving classroom harmony. As you come in the room and you introduce yourself with your name, where you teach, what you teach, how long you may have been teaching, and what your best part of teaching is. So come on in, come on in. I will not be before you long. I am just coming on to give you some quick and easy tips on how to build those strong student and teacher relationships to have long lasting academic achievement throughout the whole year. In case you have missed the last 2 weeks, we have been in this series since the first week in August. We were doing this on a Friday, and we started with It's All in the Syllabus on how to create that winning syllabus. So go ahead and check that out. Last week, we talked about creating that strong classroom culture, and I gave you, I believe it was 5 points on what you need to create a classroom culture that first week or first 2 weeks of school. This week, I'm coming to you with four, count on four, qualities, content, characteristics on how to build that strong teacher student relationship. Next week is our last week of our Surviving Back to School series, and we're going to be talking about manage your class. Don't let your class manage you. So that's going to be a good one. Classroom management 101. I am your educator's favorite educator, Miss Tiffany McDonald. I am the CEO of Teach Incorporated, helping thriving educators achieve classroom harmony to obtain academic success. I am a curriculum writer and a teachers pay teachers author. Shout out to Teachers Pay Teachers with a store called Teach with Teacher Toys that has lots of engaging, innovative, rigorous classroom learning, project-based learning, back to school forms, back to school worksheets, you name it, I got it. Go check me out on Teachers Pay Teachers, Teach with Teacher Toys. I am also a middle school ELA teacher going into my 7th year of teaching starting on Monday. I am kind of excited to see the students. I'm kind of excited to see their shiny faces and really just kind of, get into the groove a little bit and make things happen and help them to become critical readers, critical writers, and critical thinkers. So, enough about me. Let's get into it. Make sure that you have liked and subscribed. Teach outside of the box on YouTube because that is all we are doing. I'm teaching you, teachers, how to teach outside of the box, how to take your assigned curriculum, how to take your assigned parameters, anything that your administration team gives you, and teach it the way you feel it. One thing I have been successful in and long standing as an ELA teacher is that I take what my administration team is giving me and I teach it the way I feel it. I still follow all the parameters. I follow the box that they try to put me in, but I really make it engaging and appealing to all of my students. And I teach in urban education, so it's a little bit more challenges here and there to keep students engaged. But I think I have done a pretty good job in all my 7th year of teaching and getting them engaged. All right, let's get into it. We are talking about building the student and teacher relationship. So it's the first day of school. First week of school, your kids are coming in. They don't want to be there. They wish they were still on summer break. You don't have a lesson plan yet because you're like, okay, I need to figure out how to get to know these kids before I start teaching them reading, math, science, social studies. Miss McDonald, what do I do? Well, the first thing that you need to do, number one, if you are taking notes, is to get to know them. Have lots and lots and lots and multitudes of getting to know you icebreakers. It could be all about me worksheets. It can be a classroom scavenger hunt. It could be a classroom tour. It can be the back to school bingo. It could be tell me about your summer vacation. I just gave you five right there for the whole week. Get to know your students. The one thing that you should take away from this training is getting to know your students on their level. Learn their likes, learn their dislikes, learn their triggers, learn their favorite color, and also tell them about you as well. Now, many teachers may argue with, I don't want my students knowing who I am. True, you don't have to tell them your whole life story, but just bits and pieces so they can build that know, like, and trust factor. So you can tell them that you are a teacher. How I normally tell my students how I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, I've been teaching for this amount of years. I tell them I love Reese's because on Halloween, I always tell my students if they give me Reese cups, I'm gonna give them some extra credit, which is actually true. I give them extra credit for giving me Reese's. I tell them I like uh, my favorite color, which is blue and gold, pink and purple. I tell them I like Starbucks because you never know. You may have that one kid that may get you a Christmas gift and it may be something that you love. So tell them a little bit about you and in return get to know them. This builds the connection. This builds that know, like, and trust factor. Most of your students are coming in brand new. Most of them are returning students, but they gotta start all over. They've been away from you for the whole summer, 2 3 months. So you gotta come in and they gotta get to know you all over again. So once they know you, then they can begin to trust you enough to teach because they're probably coming in. And if you're like me and you teach a subject like reading, which most students hate, you got to build their trust up. You got to get them to like you a little bit so they can begin to like reading a lot or like writing a lot or like math a lot. And the only way that you can get to know them, I mean, build that know, like, and trust factor is to get to know them. Think about it like if you are an adult and you are dating and you have to get to know someone or you're building a friendship. So in this case, you're not necessarily building a friendship, but you're building a teacher student relationship. You want to ease it in, ask those interview type questions where you're getting to know their little quirks about them and who does this and who does what and who likes what. So the first way to build that student and teacher relationship is to get to know your students. Know as much as you can about them to build the know, like, and trust factor. If you go to my Teachers Pay Teacher store, to teach with teacher toys, you will see the Teach logo. I have a plethora of activities that will help you get to know your students on a deeper level. Also, if you register for this class that we're taking right now, you will actually get this back to school interactive icebreaker workbook absolutely free. Well, not free, $20, I'm sorry. But you will get this emailed to you. So make sure you register. Click the link in the description box below. Once you register, you have registered for the class, and that includes your workbook at a price of $20. Or you can also go to my Teachers Pay Teacher store and purchase the icebreakers from there as well. So, number one way to get to build your student teacher relationship is to do icebreakers. Now, don't just do icebreakers the first week, the first day, the second week. Sprinkle them in throughout the school year. Have some fun Fridays where you're kind of getting to know them because you're always getting new students, their moods. If you teach middle school, it's always changing. High school minds are always changing. So don't think that doing back to school activities, get to know you activities, should stop after the first 2 weeks. It should not. Keep it going for the whole year. Number two, the second way to get to know your students and build those student teacher relationships is to communicate with your parents and families. Bring in the parents. Invite your parents to come in if they are allowed to come in and volunteer. have a text alert system. I have a text alert system, and I always offer extra credit if my parents, my families, my students sign up for my text alerts. Call each parent individually if you can before the first day of school or even during that first week. Say, hey, I'm Miss McDonald. I'm your child's English teacher. I am just calling to welcome you to the school. We look forward to having a great year. Having this phone call as a parent means that the teacher is taking time out of their day to personally call all 20, 30, and or 40 of the students. That means so much as a parent because that means you took time out of your busy schedule to contact me and my child and welcome us to your class. That means a lot. They're going to always remember that extra added touch. If you can, I know some of my teacher friends out there send personalized cards to their parents, or they may send emails, or they may create little grab bags for their class. Whatever you can do to communicate with your parents and families in an intimate way will go a long way, and it will bridge that connection, and they won't be fearful of you, they won't dislike you, they won't even hate you. They're going to start to love you even more because you took time out to connect with their child, and you are letting them know that they matter as well as your child matters. So, the first way to build the student teacher relationship is to get to know your students, do lots and lots of icebreakers, do lots and lots of activities that will help you get to know your students and your students can get to know you. Number two, communicate with your parents and families. Going the extra mile, calling them, emailing them, sending them a text, sending home a little grab bag with each kid. Just some way where you can communicate with the families and let them know, hey, I'm glad that you have your child in my class. I'm glad that you entrusted me with your child. Let's work together to build this academic achievement. The third way is to build trust. Now, build trust is kind of big and broad, but that just means giving your students a reason to trust you. Many teens, if you work with middle school and high school, have no trust whatsoever. So they have to trust you. Even the smaller kids in elementary school, they have to trust you. So talk to them. Talk to the students. Do little mini student conferences. If you are unable to do individual conferences, have a large group time where you just sit and just talk and everybody just share one at a time about what's going on. Most of the time, most students, most kids just want to talk. They just want to get it out. They just want to say whatever it is. That builds the trust. That builds the communication. That builds the bonding time. And maybe even have this at different points of your day if possible. So building that trust is very key because building trust will help them know, oh, my teacher is here for me. She's not out to get me, or she's not out to just fail me. She really does care about my well-being. Building trust doesn't also stop the first week of school. It continues on. So when that kid is struggling in science, you may call that student to your classroom during their lunchtime, sit them down, talk with them, give them ways that they can do better on a test. So just showing that you care about your students will help build that trust. It will help build the bond and build the relationship. So we said, number one, get to know your students with icebreaker activities or getting to know you activities. Number two, we said to communicate with parents. Go the extra mile to let your parents know, let your families know that you are here for them. Number three, building trust, not just the first week, but throughout the entire school year. And number four is to encourage. Offer positive words of affirmation, offer positive praise, encouraging words, inspirational notes, motivational words. Give them encouragement. Giving your students encouragement means that you are setting them up for success. Even when you are grading papers throughout the school year, and let's say that student did not write two paragraphs, they wrote two sentences. So instead of putting F and moving on to the next, maybe say, this is a good start. Let's see how we could develop this essay or this paragraph a little bit more. I want to see you add maybe three more sentences. So it's not saying that, oh, you're horrible, you got to add, you didn't follow directions. No, you're giving them some type of inspiration, motivation to maybe go back and try it again. So offering them words of encouragement, giving them praise. All kids want to be praised. All kids are seeking out attention. They were seeking out being loved. So giving praise. I love the joy factor or the J factor in my class. So anytime a student gets a question right, we do rapid clap. Rapid clap on three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And everyone does it, and it gets so fun. And sometimes the students be like, "Oh, can I do rapid clap? Can I do rapid clap?" But what that does is that's getting them excited. You have started them on something, and they want to keep that going because, like, oh, Miss McDonald really cares. She really wants us to succeed. We got the question right, so we clap it up for one another. So just offering encouragement, words of affirmation, positive praise, inspiration, motivation to your students will go a long way. So, 4 ways. Let's recap. To build those strong student teacher relationships, get to know your students. Get to know your students. Get to know your students. Know their likes, know their dislikes, know their triggers, know their quirks, know their birthday. Get to know them. Allow them to get to know you. Allow a time when they can ask you anything, of course, respectfully, within reason, and let them know that there are some questions that you may not answer, but there are some questions that you will answer. So it's a two-way street. Number 2, communicate with the parents and families. Get the parents involved. Go above and beyond to let your parents and families know that, hey, I'm here. I care about you and your child. Number 3, build the trust. Do different things in your classroom throughout the day, throughout the school year that builds trust and allow them to trust you as a teacher because they don't know who you are. This is many of them, it's their first time in school with a teacher. So continue to build the trust and let them know you care. And number 4, offer encouragement, words of affirmation, praise, and just give them that encouragement they need. A lot of times our students hear a lot of negativity around them, so let us be the teacher who gives them the positivity they need to succeed. Did that help everyone? I hope that helped. If that helped, let me know in the comments below. If that has helped you, let me know if any one or all 4 of these will definitely be something you try during this school year. And if there's anything that I may have missed that you try in your school, share in the comments. Because remember, each one teach one so that we can reach one. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on this Saturday evening. I told you I wasn't going to be before you long, about 20 minutes of your time to give you some quick and easy tips to help you teach, help you become that thriving educator, achieving classroom harmony. Let's teach, y'all. If you are not following me, make sure that you are following me on all social media platforms. Facebook at Teach Incorporated, that is our business page. Add me as a friend. Follow me as a friend. I do have a professional account on my personal page, Tiffany McDonald. Add me, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Tiffany McDonald. Of course, like and subscribe, Teach Outside of the Box on YouTube, or you can just go to bit.ly/let's teach, and teach is in all capital letters. I'm even on the pretty little world of Snapchat at Dr. Tiffany M. I'm over on LinkedIn at Tiffany McDonald. I'm all over these streets. And of course, go pick up your classroom learning, project-based learning activities, your posters, your forms, everything you need for your classroom over on Teachers Pay Teachers at Teach with Teacher Choice. Well, that is my time, y'all. I will see you again next week for our last session in our Surviving Back to School series, where we'll be talking about manage your class, so let your class manage you, classroom management 101. Until then, take care. Each one teach one so that we can reach one. Let's teach.